touches ever said. Yeah, she hold me down. Yeah, she hold me down. Did it all, make me watch the turn. On my grind, no, on the grind. On my grind, no, on the grind.
What's up guys, Austin here. Got a boosted board. It's gonna be a fun video. So as an owner, there are a lot of things that I like about having this board, especially in the city. So this is the boosted board V2. It's an amazing board. I think I've ridden some other cheaper boards I bought, but it's worth the money because you know that you're getting something that's built solidly. The other board I'm not gonna talk too much on because I almost died on that thing so many times. I mean, seriously, the remote would just die while I'm riding it. Now, it's V2 for a couple of reasons. First thing, cabling here is much more neater than it is on the first version of the boosted board. Also, the wheels, you'll see these bright orange wheels. I believe that these are 80mm wheels, which are a little bit bigger than on the boosted board V1, so that's gonna give you a little bit better traction and a more stable ride. And then I believe the last key difference is that you have this nice, very nice, handy battery indicator light. So if you hit this button right here, you can see right on the board how much battery life you have left. So I have probably around between like 40 and 60% left, which will give me like probably around 2.5 to 3 miles since I'm riding on Pro mode. So I get a little bit less mileage. And on Pro mode, it has the fastest acceleration, goes to 22 miles an hour. But of course, there are 4 modes you can go in: beginner, eco, expert, or pro, depending on how comfortable you are on the board. Another super important thing about it is the ride itself. So this is made of a bamboo deck, so it's super flexible. So it's really nice because it acts as a suspension system for yourself. So you're not worried about like being kicked off the board with a like a pothole or something. Now, obviously, I am watching out for potholes and different dents in the ground, but overall it's a much more smoother ride because this thing is super flexible. Now, I've been riding this board for probably 2-3 weeks on and off since I got it, and I'll be the first to let you know that I am not a skateboarder or a longboarder, but it hasn't taken too long for me to get really comfortable riding on the board, especially riding through New York City on the board. I'm not vlogging while I'm riding this, but I have gotten pretty comfortable. So I think there is a learning curve. Obviously, you have to be very comfortable when you are riding this, especially if you want to be safe, but it doesn't actually take too long for you to be riding on Pro mode, depending on how comfortable you are and how much balance you have. Honestly, the best thing about it is when I'm riding in the street with cars and we're at a red light, I can literally just zip by all of the cars in the street and I can see the faces and the people in the car. They're pissed off because they're, who does this guy think he is riding on this board? And honestly, a lot of them don't know what it is. I'll have a lot of people stopping me on the street. A lot of people in their cars have actually stopped me to ask me what I'm riding because I'm sitting right next to them and they see me take off at 20 miles an hour right next to them and they're like, that's amazing. Another thing I can't stress enough is please wear a helmet, especially if you're driving around with cars, because a lot of people don't really know boosted boards, so they don't really get that you can go 20 miles an hour, so they behave kind of weird when they see you. But wear a helmet. I've gotten a few close calls, nothing too serious, but better safe than sorry. It's really not worth it to be out here and just wear a helmet. Now, if you haven't ridden a boosted board before, here's the remote. This is what you use to control the boosted board, and it's super important because this is what gets you from point A to point B. So it's super easy to use. All you do is you pull this trigger. This is kind of like a dead man switch, so this is only going to activate when you're holding this down for safety reasons, and you can go ahead and just hit this button and then go forward, pull backwards to reverse. Another great thing about this board is that it goes in both forward and reverse directions, and braking is really good because it has a lot of torque, so you can make very nice stops. There's also a button here that can give you the status of your board and the remote. So the green means that the remote has full charge. The blue shows that I have a good connection to my board, which is super important. And then of course here you have a indicator for the battery on your board. So if you just hit it once, it'll show you how much battery you have on your board. And with the V2, you can actually just hit your board and you can see the battery right on the battery itself. So pretty much every and any chance I have to ride this thing, I'll take it over riding the subway. If I have to just go pick up food or I need to go down the street or down a couple blocks, I'm hopping on this rather than hopping on the subway. I live in an area where I only have one subway stop right next to me, so if that breaks down, if anything happens to it like it did this weekend, I'm just stuck. But with this, I can just take this, and I don't even have to like go the entire distance. I can just take this, go to the next subway stop that's like 10 blocks away from me, and it will take me 2 minutes rather than a 15-minute walk. And also, it's just so much fun to ride this. Now, there are a few things that I don't like about having this board. One is the fact that I want to grab it every time I run out, but sometimes I can't just because of the situation. But also, it's a little inconvenient when it's raining because honestly, I don't want to ride this when it's raining outside, and I don't think anyone should be riding anything when it's raining outside. But it's a little sad that I can't, and I have to take the subway. But on a more serious note, if there's one thing that I can improve on this board, I wish there was a bigger battery. This range is usually good enough for what I needed to do, but a little bit more range would be nice, but that's why they have the extended battery coming soon. You can just carry the charger in your backpack. That's what I do. I have it with me whenever I'm riding this because usually if I'm riding it, I'm going somewhere and I'll have the time to charge it. And it only takes about an hour for you to charge it from 0 to 100. It's a fast charger. So if you have this, if you have a backpack on you, carry the charger with you. This thing is maybe 15 pounds. And it's not terrible to carry it around. I do sometimes when, you know, I'm in a building or not, but it's much better to ride it if you have it. So carry a charger with you. Within an hour, it's done and I'm ready to ride again. But yeah, those have been my experiences with the Boosted Board V2. I am loving it. It's a ton of fun, and I'm so glad that I have it. Thank you so much to Boosted for sponsoring this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm gonna catch you guys in the next one.